Hey there, boys and girls. Are you ready to learn about another member of the Church of COD today? Yes, who?
This is Liquid Lord.
All right, let's go!
Why don't you have a seat?
Oh, I don't mind if I do. Once upon a time, in a land not far at all away from the evil ogre, the Lord Lin, there was a very powerful sorcerer. He had the power to do just about anything he put his mind to. Just like you do, children. Except cooking. He stunk at cooking. This is because cooking is a special type of magic, just like playing music is. So, the sorcerer decided to create a magical servant for himself to do all of his cooking. Creating a whole person would have taken too long and have taken up much too much of his power. So, the sorcerer just made a pair of magical arms and hands. They were very hairy. Then, he gifted the arms with the power to speak. How do arms talk when they have no mouth, you may ask? Magic. The sorcerer gave the magical arms the name Liquid Lorn, which sounds like a good Christian name to me. Christian name to me. Yes, well. Liquid Lorn, which I will mostly refer to as LL from here on, worked hard 3 times a day, making the sorcerer delicious meals fit for a king. I wonder if LL needed love. What was the secret ingredient that made everything taste so good?
White stuff.
The cruel sorcerer was not appreciative, however, and kept LL in a cage all the time he was not cooking. Even floating arms want to be free, children, and Liquid Lorn was very sad, living in a life of servitude. Now the sorcerer had an adorable little doggie that he called Tango. Tango was a sweet dog, so cute and playful, and nothing like the bug-eyed demon dogs that most chihuahuas are. No, sir. Unbeknownst to the sorcerer, Tango and LL were friends, as LL would always sneak treats to Tango and give her scritch scratches and belly rubs. Aww. While all of this was happening, the evil ogre, the Lord Lin, had escaped the king's dungeon.
To Incarceration Island.
Oh no! He was back in his homeland, and he was hungry. He hadn't eaten a little girl in forever, and he couldn't wait to get his green hands on one. The word eaten is in quotation marks right there. I figured I'd tell you that. So, the ogre devised a plan. The village was having its annual cooking festival, where folks would come from all over the land to compete to win the big prize for having the best meal ever. The ogre knew that many people would be watching, and so too would their children be. The ogre decided he would join the contest and make human food. Now, ogres can't cook, and they surely can't make human food with any degree of success. But the Lord Lin was very full of himself, and he was sure he could do it anyway. He got himself a hat and ill-fitting shirt, both of which were very old and had been thrown away, and put them on to try to disguise himself as a human. The contest would start the very next day. Back in the sorcerer's castle, the sorcerer slept away in the dead of night. Liquid Lorn lay quietly in his cage. Suddenly, Tango ran into the room. She had a key in her mouth. Good girl, Tango! She squeezed through the bars and dropped the key before LL. He grabbed the key and unlocked the door, opened it, grabbed Tango up, and they both made their escape together. They flew and flew through the night till it was the next day. They had traveled to a sort of festival. LL saw lots of people cooking. Then he saw a strange sight indeed. An ogre, wearing human clothes, was talking to the crowd.
Hello, everyone.
It said, trying its best to sound human. I am going to make my mother's chicken pot pie, which is my favorite thing to eat. The ogre lied, since ogres don't eat human food and they can't cook. I have never done this before, but I have my mother's, the fair maid Gwendolyn's, recipe right here. The ogre tried to read the recipe, which he had stolen from another contestant when she wasn't looking. But ogres have bad eyesight and can't read very well to begin with, and they are stupid and ugly, and I hate him so much, and I swear to God if I... Although the kingdom had fresh, crisp vegetables of all kind, the ogre used veggies from a can. Salt! He shook his hand back and forth violently in a motion he called stirring. The ogre clearly had no idea what he was doing. "I've never done this before," whined the ogre over and over again. Soon all the people lost interest in watching him, wanting to find contestants with far more skill. Just then, the ogre hit pay dirt. A little girl, looking all alone and confused, was clutching her teddy bear and sucking her thumb. She had a tiny golden crown on her head. She had blonde hair and blue eyes. The ogre would love to eat her for sure. The ogre ran and grabbed her up in her arms. He would eat well tonight. Ho, ho, ho. Excuse me for a moment, children. Okay, I'm okay. Sorry about that. Sorry. The Lorn Lin was so excited to have a precious princess of his own that he wasn't looking where he was running and ran right into LL and Tango. "Get out of my way, freak!" yelled the ogre, who should know a freak when he sees one, which is every time he looks in a mirror. Well, LL might just be a pair of arms, but he had a strong sense of morality. He was not going to let an ogre hurt a defenseless child. LL balled his hands into fists and punched that ogre right in the snoot. The ogre dropped the child and she ran away. Hooray! LL hit the ogre again.
Another blow to Lorn.
And again.
Another blow to Lorn.
Tango bit the ogre on his warty ankle. Finish him! The Lorn Lin ran away crying. And this time, his tears were for real. Are you crying, Lorn Lin? Why are you crying? The townspeople saw what happened, and they cheered for Liquid Lorn. LL was happy he was able to do such a noble deed that he decided to fix another wrong right away. He floated over to the ogre's table and read the recipe. He then made a pot pie.
Fixed a little bit different way.
It was delicious. He won the contest. I'm telling you, children, fresh vegetables make all the difference. As a reward for saving the child and winning the contest, the wise king granted LL a piece of land with a small cottage on it, where he and Tango could live happily for the rest of their lives.
Oh my god.
Well, that about wraps it up for this story. What? Oh, I get it. You're expecting me to make fun of Tiffany, huh? Nope, I am not becoming predictable. No one is saying that S word that she says in this episode. No one.
No, because Debbie doesn't sound like that.
No, Debbie sounds exactly like that. The end. Join me next time when I teach you about another member of the Church of Cod.
Bye, sweethearts.